Yo, Reno Richard here again. As you can see, it's wet, and I'm not in Reno because it would not be wet, it would be snow. So, what do? When I'm not going to school? Go to Tijuana, of course. Doesn't everybody? So, I thought I'd throw a little video up how to get there. It's not the easiest. I've been quite a few times, and it changes almost every single time. So, of course, getting there is easy. You can never get lost in Cali. One highway, I 5. You go north, you go south. So, obviously, you go south. And as you can see, the signs, last exit. You gotta get off on the last exit. Otherwise, you're going to end up in Mexico. You do not want to drive into Mexico. The second you cross the border, no insurance. So it's not covered. So you got to get off in this last exit, which I think is 1C. You get off here. And then you turn right, and then the parking is right there, as you can see. So it's super easy. It's the easiest on-off you'll ever have to deal with. So I think you can even park a rig in here. So if you are a special kind of person with a Class A, then I think you could pull in here. I don't know if you get your trailer in here, but at least bobtail would probably work. So now once we're here, speed it up a little bit. Now you know how to get there by car. So then the border, you're on the wrong side of the freeway. So you got to get to the other side of the freeway to cross. So you got to go across. We should have crossed right here, going to the right, but we didn't because I thought the bridge was across the way, but it wasn't. So yeah, cross there because they have a new bridge. So it's pretty easy to get to. And as you can see, we're doing this at night in the rain. It's like 8 o'clock. We went after work. So, this is probably hardcore. This is the hardest it would ever be. But I've been there before, so I know where I'm going. So everybody always says, they're like, oh man, why are you going to TJ? It's like, dude, TJ is awesome. Everybody is missing out on TJ. It is the best, okay? You look it up, reviews just for restaurants. They got one of the fanciest, best restaurants in Southern California, like Southern, like San Diego. Mission 19. It's legit, and it's so much cheaper than say like 1, 2, 3 Michelin star restaurant anywhere else where you're talking $500. So you go there for the drugs. I go there for inhalers and picking prednisone, all this stuff for asthma. It's so ridiculously cheap. You gotta be a little careful coming back across, because if you buy too much, they'll be like, "Oh, you have an intent to sell." But it's like, get out of here. I don't want to come here all the time. I don't live here. So that saved me last time. I'm like, "Yo, I'm Reno Richard, son. I'm not San Diego Richard." He's like, "Oh, okay. So you come like twice a year?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's like twice a year. Load up. Come for the drugs. Come for the Autobado tacos. Legit." So that, and then Caesars. They invented the Caesar salad. How could you not go? Caesars is legit. You gotta go to Caesars. I go there every time. I get Autobado every time. I get Caesars every time. Once in a while, go to Mission 19. But that's why I go. It's a ton of fun. Get drugs, and it's super cheap, and you never know what you're gonna see. It's always fun. I'm always like the only white guy over there, so it's always a ton of fun over there. So you gotta check it out for sure. So all that was pretty easy, as you can see. You just go across the bridge. I just wanted it for dexterity and for like real navigators. You know where you're going. This is the weird part. So you come up here, you gotta turn left. This is kind of where the signs are a little weak, and then you're like in the alley. You're like, "What? Is this right?" You're like, "This is getting a little ghetto. Maybe we should turn around and go home." So you keep going. There's this hilarious crosswalk right here. And then, okay, now you're in this, and then pretty much you just follow these guys. All these Mexicans, especially during the day, they're working. They're just on their commute usually. So you just follow them. If you ever get lost, just try to follow a line of people. And then finally, once you get here, obviously it's easy from here. You just roll up, and as you can see, uh, roll up through here, We don't need a wall because we already have a wall right there. Bam. Okay, so now I went through. You do have to have a passport, so don't try to go in without it. They've changed the laws. So now you're going down through here. One thing I want to make sure is when you're going down through here, do not keep going straight. It'll be open sometimes, and that's where they have like really expensive cabs and scammers and stuff. So make sure you take this left, stay on the path, don't go down there, and then just stay on this path. And there'll be guys like taxi, 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 but I believe they do have regulated taxis, the yellow ones, I think. They got yellow and they got like orange and white. Pretty sure the yellow ones are the regulated ones. So, kind of like New York. So, just keep rolling through here. You know, you want some tamales. You want some, I don't think they have adobado here. Just tamales. So, tamales, go for it. You just see a line of taxis. I think this is like 24/7 they have a line of taxis. So, you roll up here. Just tell them where you want to go. Boom. First thing you got to do, adobado. You got to get the adobado at a taco joint. That's number one thing you have to do when you go to Tijuana. Every time, first thing, boom, go to your favorite joint. So now we're leaving. On Revolucion is the main strip. What you see is this arch. It's like a St. Louis arch. You just go to the arch. If you ever get lost, you go straight to the arch on Revolucion, which is the main strip. And once you get to the arch right here, you go to the right. And there are some okay signs, but as you can see, my chick was freaking out. She was like, "What?" So it's like, dude, don't worry about it. They're trying to sell margaritas right here. They got art. They got murals. Okay, it ain't that ghetto. It's not like there's people tagging stuff. They got pretty murals. And I didn't know Mexico had pachinko, so they got picking pachinko, people gambling and stuff. That's a new one. I never seen that before. So on the left, quickly, the original Taco Bell right there. Bam, Taco Bell. So now you know. So this is like the original port. This is how you used to go. This is the new. It's called Ped West, or I forget the name in Spanish. It's called something else. I think it's up here, but it's called Ped West. You can only go south. You can't go north. So you can't go from Cali to Mexico through Ped West. So this is like the weird way to go, but it's awesome because there's like zero wait. It's a brand new center. It's a little hard to find. So you're once again on the wrong side of the Tijuana River, and it's weird and it's a little strange looking and stuff, but you know, it's good. So this is how you go. You got to go around and around and around, and then it's like this thing puts the LA River to shame right here. So Tijuana River was actually in use because it was raining. So, and it's freaking awesome because there's no fence. You know, when Schwarzenegger in Terminator 2, when he's got to blow, he pulls out his shotty, and he's got to blow the lock off the fence for the gate, for the chain link gate, to get through there and bust through there with his fat boy. There's no fence. There's no nothing. So this would be awesome if this was in LA. You'd just be dirt biking in the LA River all the time. So if Mexicans had enough money for CRF 450, then they would totally be in the Tijuana River tearing it up, pulling wheelies, or grease lightning, whichever you prefer. So this is where it gets weird. They changed this because before there was a rickety old bridge and they took it away. And so now this, I didn't know. It was like, I'm like winding around, and there were signs like right here. So you kind of follow the US signs. But this was a little weird. It just like wound around and around and around and around. So this is the part that tends to change every time. So hopefully this is somewhat permanent, but I don't know, because it's like you get here like what where what, this doesn't make sense, and then you keep going and you keep going and you keep going, and then finally you get across, and finally you look for the army men, you know, GI Joe. So finally you're like, oh, finally made it. So definitely tough getting out. Not too bad getting in, but getting out is a little tough, especially at night, trying to figure out where you're going. So there you go, yo. You need to know how to get to Tijuana. It's awesome. Everybody should go. Live long and prosper.